I just caught wind of a new bill that was introduced that's going to create a new tax. Now we're talking about a state with a 17.68 whatever $billion tax surplus, and they're creating, not just raising taxes, they're creating a whole new tax called a delivery tax that will be added to every package that's delivered from Minnesota. Actually, it's every retail order. So if you have multiple orders delivered in one box, they'll tack on a 50-cent tax for each retail item that's delivered. And that starts out at 40 cents, goes up to 45, then 50 cents, and who knows where it goes from there. This is at a time when Amazon has decided to pull out of Minnesota because of the taxes and regulations. And Brad Tabke, who represents Shakopee, where Amazon was located or is located, is an author on this tax. Now, I imagine that this bill is being sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce, the Minnesota Retailers Association, as a way to kind of box out competition from out of state. But this is going to have serious impacts for all Minnesotans, including me. I get a lot of stuff delivered by Amazon because I live out in rural Minnesota. Do you think there's an appetite in the legislature to pass a new tax on Minnesotans when everybody's hurting so bad?
Yes, that's the short answer. Is there an appetite in a Democrat-controlled legislature to raise taxes? Yes, always and every time. And, as you point out, we're sitting here with if you round it up, $18 billion state budget surplus. And not only are they going to spend every single cold dime of that, but they're also going to raise taxes and already have. I mean, not just creating new taxes like this one, but things like fees and tabs are all going up. I mean, the last number I saw was north of almost $700 million. I mean, well over $500 million in fees that they were going to raise. Just nuts. At a time when, again, we just got done with a campaign where their major vulnerability was the economy and the Biden walls inflation and how hard, and of course, everything that they're selling in terms of, we need to open up health and human services, turn the spigot wide open. We need to fully fund education. We need to create an entire new department. The committee on which I sat, Children and Families, we need to create an entire new state department of children and families to meet the needs of people who are having it hard. Yeah, they're having it hard because of your policies, because of the things you are doing, because you are pretending as though money is grown on trees. I don't know if you saw that comment. Did you see that from Dave Pinto?
Yes.
The chair of my Children and Families Committee yesterday in committee literally said he portrayed this new department that they want to create as, quote, a magic money tree, unquote. And he means it. He believes that, quote unquote, investment in public education, human services, early childhood, that's going to translate into saved money down the road. And it's going to be a net gain of 13%. You're going to have to explain that math to me. I don't know how it works, but the point here is they don't see what they're doing as costing anything at all. So when your tax bill goes up, when your costs go up, your prices, because that's what's going to happen, right? To the degree that Amazon has to tack on that extra 50 cent an item tax onto your item, they're not going to eat that. They're going to pass that on to you. So your life gets more expensive, your taxes go up, you're not getting increases in wages, right? Inflation is making the dollars you do have worth less. So your quality of life is going down right now. And their justification for it is, just wait and see. Eventually, somewhere down the road, there's going to be all these positive externalities that are going to make your life better. Don't ask us when, and don't expect them anytime soon. But at some point way down the road, it's all going to be worth it.
Yeah, and if you dig into the bill, it's House File 580. The allocation of money that's collected gets distributed into 3 different accounts. 60% of the money goes into the Highway User Tax Distribution Fund. The 36% goes into the metropolitan area transit account, so buses and choo-choo trains. And then 4% goes into the Greater Minnesota Transit account. So 4% of that money goes out to rural Minnesota, because we know a majority of the highway user tax money probably goes to the metro as well. It's just a way to fund more transportation projects that are not car related, and it's a tax on it's a I mean, this is a substitute for the fuel tax. We know that Democrats could probably see some resistance if they wanted to implement a 20-cent per gallon gas tax. That would be the death of them. But this tax will probably basically rake in tons of money. And this is at a time when one of the last grocery stores in North Minneapolis, the big Aldi Foods, is closing, and people will probably have either Amazon deliver groceries or go to one of the other larger metropolitan grocery stores that deliver to their house and have grocery items delivered, and this fee will apply to that. And it
Right.
even is applied to groceries and clothing, which we don't tax in Minnesota because they're deemed essential. So they're going to be collecting an enormous amount of revenue on the backs of hardworking Minnesotans who are busy working 2 jobs and don't have time to stop by the store and have stuff delivered. This is an enormous tax on Minnesotans.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's the side of the equation that is never taken into consideration or is dismissed through this magic money tree. What do they call it? Modern monetary theory that we can never spend too much, right? And that was kind of part of my rebuttal on Twitter to Pinto is, well, if this is true, if we get an automatic 13% return on investment on whatever we invest, why not invest $100 quadrillion? I mean, why limit it at 12 million, right? But that's the mentality that they're operating from, is that there's no such thing as too many taxes. There's no such thing as too much spending. There is no functional limit. And that was the context in which we were having this conversation yesterday in committee. Is I was asking them, as they're presenting their vision for this grand new brave new world, where is the functional limit to how much you're going to spend and how much you're going to invest, quote unquote, into this new monstrosity? And they cannot give you an objective ceiling. They cannot define what the limit is, because in their minds there is none.
Yeah. Well, I want to point out some hypocrisy too, because Democrats just last year or 2 years ago, is it 2021, passed a bill to put price caps on delivery services. Grubhub and DoorDash and Uber Eats, they thought that delivery fees were excessive, and they wanted to put price caps on there. Well, where are these companies supposed to, I mean, there's a cost to deliver. So where is that going to go? Right. Just let the market work and stop trying to manipulate things, and stop taxing the crap out of people.